Hi, I'm Sandy Flor, and this time I would like to talk about assessment in open and distance learning. Now, before anything else, I would like to offer the following caveats. First of all, the opinions expressed herein do not apply to, number one, basic education, to courses on the physical and natural sciences, and other established disciplines with specific and established standards. What I will say about assessment does not apply to brick and mortar institutions. It just applies to us in open and distance learning. And this does not apply to non-terminal assessments also. This video acknowledges the importance of assessment as part and parcel of education and does not disparage the voluminous work done in its name. The title of this video is Alternative Assessment Models, Remedies to eLearning's Dark Side. Take a look at this. It's found in a 2016 Cosmopolitan web issue. It says employees now prefer PUP over UP, Ateneo de Manila, De La Salle University, and UST graduates. Now, how did that happen? There is a line in this page that says graduates of other universities feel less self-entitled. But is that really the case? Is that really the case? Let me offer you some fundamental questions. How responsive is open education to the demands of the 21st century workplace? How relevant are programs of open universities to the needs of future employers of our students? Thirdly, how effective are our assessment models? Now, take a look at this web page. Imagine that this ad or advertisement is available to anybody who could surf the web. It says here that we take your classes, we take your online college classes for you and get you an A, of course for a fee. It even gives a telephone number. Okay? This is studying by proxy. This is just one of the many what I would call dysfunctional digital behaviors associated with online learning. There are others, of course, and I could give you several examples. Cheating, for instance, cyberbullying, and the propensity to cut corners under cheating. Plagiarism would be the most common practice. Or another one is classwork by proxy. Somebody else is attending your online classes for you, as seen in that web page. And then there's ghostwriting. You could hire a student to write your paper for you, as well as others. And then cyberbullying, caused by online disinhibition, cutting corners. Here I would like to introduce to you a term. It's called gamer's agenda, or the gamer's mentality. Okay. Now, these are some of the things that we encounter in our online classes. And some of these, I venture to say, is caused by our use of traditional or conventional assessment methods. Assessment methods that we have been practicing for all these decades in residential campuses. We apply it in an online class, and you get this types of behavior from our students. Okay? This use of assessment methods that we do in face-to-face instruction breeds what we call a self-perpetuating adversarial system. Students and faculty members, they consider themselves adversaries, particularly with a grade point average system, your GPA system. When we adopt this in Odell programs and open and distance e-learning programs, which by definition should be guided by open educational philosophies. Applying this conventional grading system in a situation where teacher and learners are separated and learners have access to technologies, that would breed this adversarial system. Measures of cognitive gain may no longer be appropriate nor accurate given these conditions. So instilling a grade point average primacy among online learners is inappropriate within the Odell environment. Of course, this is my opinion. Particularly in higher education. Conventional assessment models give rise to oppositional or adversarial relationships between teachers and students, which in turn influence students to see the online classroom as an arena for a game. Students are encouraged to adopt a gamer's agenda or outlook or mentality, and they look for what is known as cheats within the system, shortcuts. Engaging in this cat and mouse game has been the preoccupation of both students and teachers perennially, sacrificing the primacy of learning and teaching. I will give you an example. In one of our commencement exercises here at the UP Open University, maybe that was around 5, 6, or 7 years ago, the valedictorian, earning a magna cum laude, I think, gave her valedictory speech with this line in the speech: "Ngayong araw na ito ay patunay na nalusutan natin sila." Sino sila? Tayo yun. To our professors, okay, I'm just quoting the speech. To our professors, you were successful in giving us a hard time, but thank you, we were pressured to be better students. To the graduates, today is definitely a good time to ask for graduation gifts. This is our day. And today we celebrate that in spite of how much our professors challenge us, we won over them. So you see, it's like a game, an online game. Congratulations, fellow survivors. Education, I would liken it to a bed with 4 posts. The delivery system is one post. The curriculum is another. Pedagogy is another post. The 4th post is assessment. When one of these posts would change, let's say the height of a post would change, the 4 posts in a bed, then others will have to adjust. If we change our delivery system, we have to change our pedagogy. We have to change our curriculum. We have to change our assessment also. We have changed 3 system elements or components. Here at the Open University, we've made we developed transformative curricula. We've introduced new pedagogies because of our shift to an online delivery. But we haven't done much in terms of assessment. So to address this situation, I think we should have policy options, discourage the use. One thing, and this is my personal opinion, perhaps open and distance learning should only be focused on higher education. It should not be applied to that much to basic education, to primary and high school, okay? Not to TVET, or technical and vocational education and training. We should have a policy on authentic assessment for Odell. We should rethink our assessment approaches, adopt authentic assessment with several assessment levels. We divorce formal assessment from instruction. This is a more radical concept. Assessment will be done by somebody else other than the instructor. third parties or the industry itself, industry-based assessment. Model policy and practice genuinely consistent with openness, independence, and constructivism. Now, I would like to talk briefly about third-party assessment. Assessment is done neither by the teacher nor the learner or fellow learners. And there are several methods here, scored tests done by a third party, demonstrations and simulation, narrative assessments, portfolio assessments also. Well, third-party assessment could be done by an internal body within the university, or it could be done by an external body. Another model which we may explore would be industry-based assessment. Okay? This chart shows us the advantages of these models of assessments, advantages to the academe, industry, and student. Institutionally, the academe will have more meaningful partnerships with industry. Industry will have greater involvement in the educational system if they participate in assessment. Assessments that are truly define the student will be employed. Insofar as curricula are concerned, university offerings, they become more relevant. They become more responsive to industry needs and trends. And students will have access to genuine capacity development. Insofar as function is concerned, faculty members can focus on generating and sharing new knowledge instead of constructing tests and assessing students. Industry will have access to more qualified students, and students will be better equipped to face the world of work. Okay, my parting words. As champions of open education, we must take this learner-centered advocacy seriously. Otherwise, we exist as mere alternatives to residential education. And given our constraints, we remain poor alternatives who use technology to compensate for our deficiencies based on the bar of traditional universities.